Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today's going to be a little different. Usually we are here to, make you smarter or more informed about the world, maybe share some cool science or history.
Right.
But today, we are looking at a stack of sources that are designed to do something much more specific.
Yeah.
They are designed to keep you alive.
Alive in the corporate sense, at least.
Right.
Though honestly, depending on your stress levels and blood pressure, maybe the literal sense too.
I could believe it. We are talking about power. And I don't mean the inspirational, quote, LinkedIn influencer empowerment version of power.
No, this is the nuts and bolts.
We are talking about the raw mechanics of how organizations actually truly work. We've pulled together a collection of articles, research notes, and what look like field manuals on practical power, literacy, and social intelligence.
They really do read like field manuals, don't they?
They do. And I have to say, reading through this material, it was uncomfortable. It felt like I was reading the source code for every bad day I've ever had at work.
It is uncomfortable. And that discomfort is actually the first signal that you're onto something real.
How so?
Well, most of what we are fed about leadership, career advancement, and office dynamics is what these sources call normative.
Normative, meaning how things should be.
Exactly. It's a description of how the world should be. It's based on the just world hypothesis, this idea that if you work hard and you're nice and you generate value, you will inevitably be rewarded.
Right. That's the script we're raised on, the meritocracy myth.
It is.
And then you get into the actual workforce and you watch the guy who does half the work but laughs at the boss's jokes get the promotion, and you think the system is broken. You feel cheated.
Exactly. But the central premise of today's deep dive, and this is a really hard pill to swallow, is that the system isn't broken. The system is working perfectly according to a set of physics that you just haven't learned yet.
So we're the ones with the wrong instruction manual.
We're playing chess with the rules of checkers. So we are moving from a normative view to a descriptive view. We aren't asking what is fair. We are suspending moral judgment to observe what is.
That's the amoral lens. That's our ground rule for this episode, right?
It has to be.
We aren't saying you should be a bad person. We aren't endorsing manipulation. We are saying you need to be an accurate observer.
Precisely. You cannot navigate a terrain if your map is based on how you wish the mountains were arranged. You have to see the mountains where they actually are. Power is not a possession. You don't have power like you have a watch.
It's not a thing.
It's not a thing. Power is a relationship. It is the capacity to direct reality. And to do that, you have to understand the machinery.
We have a massive amount of ground to cover today. This is basically a masterclass.
It really is.
We're going to look at the physics of power, the invisible incentives that drive behavior. We're going to break down the shadow organization, how decisions really get made versus what the org chart says.
Yeah, the real map.
We'll get into tactical mastery negotiation, reading lies. And finally, the dark arts of defense.
It's a manual for survival.
So let's start at the bottom, the bedrock physics. The sources call this the iron law of self-interest.
This is the axiom. If you get this wrong, nothing else works. The axiom is simple, but it's brutal.
Which is?
There is no such thing as organizational altruism.
Which sounds incredibly cynical.
It does.
It sounds like we're saying everyone is just selfish.
It sounds cynical, but it's actually just predictive. We tend to think that if we do good work for the company will reward us. But the company doesn't exist.
Right, it's an idea, a legal fiction.
It's a logo. You don't work for a company, you work for a person, usually a manager. And that person has a very specific set of self-interests.
Okay, and the source made this point that hit me hard. Your hard work does not automatically benefit you.
Yeah.
It benefits your manager.
Yeah.
And those two things are not always correlated.
They're very often not correlated. Here's the equation the sources lay out, and you should probably memorize this one. Okay.
Yeah.
If your promotion helps your manager achieve their goals, you will rise. You will be pulled up by the slipstream.
Makes sense.
But, and this is the deadly but, if your promotion threatens your manager's status or even just their convenience, you will be suppressed.
Okay, let's play that out because I want to make sure I really get it. Let's say I'm the super user. I'm the only one who knows how to run the legacy reporting software. I'm crushing it. I'm indispensable. I asked for a promotion to a new team because I've clearly mastered this role. Normatively, I deserve it.
Normatively, yes. You've mastered the job. You should absolutely move up. Descriptively, you are dead in the water.
Why?
Because promoting you creates a massive headache for your manager. Who is going to run the reports?
Right.
If they let you grow, they have to hire someone, train them, maybe do it themselves in the meantime. Your competence has become a cage.
Wow.
You are too valuable where you are to be allowed to move.
So in that scenario, my hard work and my excellence are actually working against my career progression.
They are the chains.
I've dug a hole so deep and decorated it so nicely that they won't let me leave.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because you failed to align your objective with their selfishness.
So what's the move?
If you want that promotion, you don't argue, I deserve it. You have to construct a reality where you leaving helps the manager.
How would you do that?
Maybe you've already trained a replacement who is cheaper than you. Now promoting you saves the budget. Suddenly, the gate opens.
You have to solve their problem, not just yours.
Always. You must align your trajectory with the selfish interests of the gatekeepers.
That leads us right into the next concept, which is the vacuum principle. Power abhors a vacuum.
This is all about agency and framing. In every meeting, every project, every single interaction, there is a frame, a context, a direction things are going.
Okay.
If you do not set the frame, someone else will.
And this is the difference between what the sources call a player and a piece.
Correct. The default mode for most employees, let's call them pieces, is passive.
Right. I just show up and do what I'm told.
You show up to the meeting, you wait for instructions, you react, you think you are being a good soldier by waiting for orders.
Yeah, that seems like the right thing to do.
But the sources argue that if you don't have a specific plan for your career, you automatically become a resource in someone else's plan.
And usually, you become fuel.
You become fuel for their engine. If you are sitting in a meeting and there is a silence, a vacuum of leadership, and you don't step in to suggest a next step, someone else will. And they will suggest the step that benefits them.
So the takeaway here is that you must be default active.
Yes. You create the plan. You suggest the timeline. You define the role. Because if you wait for someone to define it for you, they will define it in a way that maximizes their utility, not yours.
Now, there is a structural reason why we get trapped, and it's something economists talk about, the principal-agent problem.
Yes.
But the sources apply this to office politics in a really interesting and frankly terrifying way.
It explains so much corporate dysfunction. It's fundamental economics. The principal is the owner, the CEO, the shareholder. They want maximum value from the company.
Right. More profit.
The agent is the employee or the manager. They want maximum security and minimum effort for the most pay. These goals are fundamentally opposed.
Right. The owner wants you to work 80 hours for free, and you want to work 0 hours for $1 million.
Ideally, yes. And the agent has the upper hand because they have the information.
What do you mean?
This is called information asymmetry. The agent knows how the sausage is made. The principal just sees the sausage. And this leads to the tactic of the black box.
The black box. This is when you hoard information to make yourself indispensable.
Exactly. Agents, employees instinctively build black boxes. You see this in IT, in specialized sales, in engineering. I'd love to explain how the client database works, boss, but it's incredibly technical. It's spaghetti code you wouldn't understand.
Right.
They create a process where input goes in, magic happens, and output comes out. But only they control the magic.
That's job security. If you fire me, the magic stops.
It is job security, but it's a double-edged sword, like we talked about with the super user. If your box is too black, you become a bottleneck. You can never take a vacation. You can never be promoted.
So you're stuck again.
You're stuck. The source argues you need to build a black box to prevent being easily replaced, but you need to construct APIs ways for others to interact with your work without needing you for every tiny thing.
That's a great analogy. You want to be the architect, not the janitor.
Right. And if you are a leader listening to this, your job is to smash black boxes.
You have to break them open.
You cannot allow your team to hold processes hostage. You have to force documentation. You have to force transparency. It's a constant war between the principal trying to see inside and the agent trying to put up curtains.
Speaking of things happening behind curtains, let's talk about meetings.
Oh, meetings.
The meeting before the meeting. I feel like I learned this the hard way early in my career. I'd go into a meeting with a great idea, present it, and just get shot down immediately. Or worse, just crickets, ignored.
And you were probably shocked. You thought the meeting was where the decision was being made.
I did. That's what it says on the calendar. Decision meeting.
The sources are brutal about this. The board meeting is theater.
Just theater.
It is a ceremony to ratify a decision that was already made. If you walk into a conference room and you are hearing the proposal for the first time, or God forbid, you are making your proposal for the first time, you have already lost.
Because the real players have already had the conversation.
Tuesday night over drinks. Wednesday morning in the hallway. A quick Zoom call on Thursday. By the time Friday rolls around, the key stakeholders have already aligned.
They know the outcome.
They know how they are going to vote. The meeting is just the rubber stamp.
So the tactic here is pre-wiring.
Pre-wiring. You lobby the stakeholders individually before the group convenes. You go to the finance director. Hey, I'm thinking of pitching X. Does that work for your budget? You go to ops. Can you handle the volume if we do X? You address their objections in private.
Like a wedding ceremony.
Exactly. The couple didn't decide to get married at the altar. They decided a month ago. The ceremony is just public theater. If you want to influence the outcome, you have to be part of the relationship building before the ceremony.
That ties back to self-interest. You're checking with everyone to see what's in it for you.
Yes.
But people are complicated. How do we know what they actually want? The sources talk about decoding incentives.
This is crucial because people lie. Or, to be charitable, they say what sounds good.
Right, the corporate speak.
They say, we value innovation, we value risk-taking, but incentives don't lie. You have to look at revealed preferences versus stated preferences.
Okay, give me an example of the difference.
A company states, we are an innovative, agile culture, but look at the last 3 people who got promoted.
Were they the risk takers who failed fast? Or were they the steady hands who never made a mistake, never went over budget, and followed every compliance rule?
If it's the latter, then the revealed preference is compliance.
Correct. And if you try to be innovative in a culture that incentivizes compliance, you will be fired.
Why?
You are playing a game that doesn't exist. You have to ignore what the posters in the break room say and look at who is actually winning.
Now, on an individual level, the sources break this down into 4 currencies. I found this incredibly helpful because I used to think everyone just wanted more money or a bigger title. But that's not true at all.
No, it's a rookie mistake to pay everyone in the same currency. You have to pay them in their currency.
Okay, so what are they?
First, you have the climber.
I know this type.
Yeah.
Ambition incarnate. Always looking up.
Their currency is visibility. They want their name on the slide deck. They want present to the board. If you have a project that is vital but invisible, the climber will let it rot.
But if you have a project that is mediocre but high profile, they will kill for it.
So if I need a climber's help, I don't offer them money, I offer them credit.
Join this task force. It's going to have a lot of FaceTime with the CEO. Boom, they're in.
Got it.
You keep the cash, give them the applause. Second, you have the lifer.
The person who has been there for 20 years has the same coffee mug from 1998.
Yes. Their currency is security. They are terrified of change. Change means risk. If you come to a lifer with a disruptive new idea, they will view you as a threat.
So they'll block it.
They will block you. They'll find 1,000 reasons why it won't work.
So how do you sell a new idea to a lifer? You can't just avoid them.
You rebrand it. You don't call it disruption. You call it modernizing safety protocols.
Oh, that's good.
You frame the change as a way to increase stability. If we don't update this software, we are at risk of a crash. This update secures our future. You sell safety.
That is brilliant framing. Same project, different wrapper. Okay, type 3, the mercenary.
Currency is money or equity. They have 0 loyalty to the mission. They don't care about the company pick.
But just here for the paycheck.
Don't try to inspire them with the vision. It annoys them. Be transactionally honest. If you help me land this account, your commission is X. If we fail, you get nothing.
They appreciate the clarity. No BS.
They respect it. And finally, my personal favorite, the artist or the engineer.
The builders. The makers.
Their currency is autonomy and mastery. They hate bureaucracy. They hate meetings. They just want to build cool stuff and be respected for their craft.
Right.
If you try to micromanage an artist, they will quit. They'll walk.
So the deal with them is, I'll handle the nonsense.
Exactly. I will keep the managers away from you. I will sit in the meetings. I will fill out the forms. You just build the engine.
You're their shield.
That is the ultimate trade from engineer. You become their shield, and they will give you their best work.
So we have the currencies.
Yeah.
But even if we pay the right currency, sometimes things get stuck. And usually they get stuck in the middle. The sources call this the insulation layer.
Middle management. It's a strange place in the physics of power.
Yeah.
Middle managers are incentivized to stop bad news from going up because they want to protect your bonuses and look like everything is under control.
Right. Keep the boss happy.
And they are incentivized to stop resources from coming down because they want to hoard their budget for a rainy day.
So they act like a clog in the pipe, a filter in both directions.
They're arbitrageurs of your value. If you do great work, the middle manager sells it upstream as their leadership. Look what my team did.
I've seen that happen.
If you have a problem, they bury it so the big boss doesn't see it. The source suggests you cannot rely solely on the chain of command. You need a skip-level relationship.
Going over their head. That sounds dangerous. That sounds like a declaration of war.
It is if you make it formal. If you schedule a meeting with your boss's boss to complain, you are dead. You violated the hierarchy.
So how do you do it?
The trick is to find innocent reasons to interact. The elevator, the cafeteria, the coffee shop.
Oh, hey, I bumped into the VP in the lobby.
Exactly. You need a casual, non-threatening relationship with the principal. You want to plant a flag of existence. Hey, loved your note on the Q3 goals. I'm actually working on the data side of that right now.
Just enough so that they know your name. So that if your manager tries to distort your reality, take your credit, or blame you for something, the VP thinks, wait, I met him. He seemed sharp.
You are creating a backup channel of truth. It's insurance.
Let's move to section 2, the shattered organization. The sources say, very bluntly, the org chart is a fiction.
It's worse than a fiction. It's a misdirection.
How so?
It maps responsibility, not authority. It tells you who gets blamed when things go wrong, not who actually has the power to make things happen.
Okay.
If you want to survive, you have to map the real network. You have to identify the real power nodes.
How do you find them? They don't wear badges that say, I'm a power node.
No, but they give clues. You watch the eyes. In a meeting, when a really difficult question is asked, one that requires a real decision, who does the CEO look at? It might not be the VP of whatever.
It might not be the VP. It might be the quiet technical lead in the corner. It might be the CFO. Whoever the leader looks to for validation, that is the person who holds the authority.
That's the node.
That is the node.
Yeah.
You need to win that person over, not necessarily the person with the biggest title.
And speaking of titles versus power, we have to talk about the gatekeepers, the executive assistants.
This is a hill I will die on. Never, ever disrespect the EA.
Ever.
The source is adamant about this. EA control the scarcest resource in the company, the executive's time.
They decide who gets on the calendar and who gets pushed to next month or next year.
They can put your memo at the top of the pile, or they can accidentally drop it in the trash. In terms of functional power, the ability to get things done, a top-tier EA often outranks a VP.
That's a bold statement.
I believe it. If you are rude to the assistant, you are invisible to the executive. Treat them like a diplomat. Bring them coffee. Remember their kid's name. And then there's this concept of the institutional memory, the person who knows where all the bodies are buried.
Usually a veteran, often in a lower-ranking role, compliance, accounts payable, something like that. They've survived 5 CEOs.
They've seen it all.
They know why the last 3 projects failed. They know that Compliance Rule 405B from 1998 prohibits what you're trying to do.
And they can weaponize that history.
Absolutely. If they like you, they will tell you where the landmines are. Hey, don't use that vendor. The CEO hates them. If they don't like you, they will watch you step on the mine and wait for the explosion. You need these people. Kiss the ring.
This brings us to a distinction in types of authority. Positional versus referent.
This is huge. Positional is do it because I'm the boss.
Because my title says so.
It's brittle. It's expensive. Every time you have to give a direct order, you burn a little bit of capital. People resent it.
Right.
Referent authority is do it because you respect me. Or do it because I'm the expert and I know the way.
So the goal is to never use your rank.
The goal is to accumulate enough referent and expert authority that you never have to pull rank. The most powerful leaders are the ones who can get people to follow them without ever giving an order.
But what happens when someone wants to stop you? The sources talk about the power of no and slow.
Yeah. In a bureaucracy, the laws of physics favor inertia. It is much, much easier to stop things than to start them.
Yeah.
And the most dangerous weapon is the pocket veto.
Describe that for me.
A pocket veto is when a manager looks you in the eye and says, yes, great idea, let's do it. But then Nothing happens.
They don't sign the budget request.
They delay the meeting. They ask for one more analysis. They lose the email. They don't say no because no allows you to appeal.
No is a conflict you can have.
Exactly. No is a decision. They just let the project die of malnutrition. It's the slow no.
It's ghosting, but professional.
It really is.
So how do you fight that? If they said no, I could argue, but they're saying yes and doing nothing.
Do not escalate.
Don't go to their boss.
No. If you run to their boss and say, he's not helping me, the manager will just say, oh, I've been so busy I was getting to it next week. Now you look petty and impatient.
Right.
You look like the bad guy.
Instead, you create a forcing function.
A deadline that isn't
Yes, exactly. You need an external monster. The client needs this by Friday, or we lose the account. The new regulations take effect on the 1st. Now you go to the manager and say, I want to help you avoid this disaster, but I need that signature today.
You flip the dynamic. It's not me versus you. It's both of us versus the problem.
And suddenly the signature appears.
Let's shift gears to Section 3, social intelligence. We've talked about structure. Now let's talk about people. And specifically, the immoral lens on empathy.
This is important. Usually when we hear empathy, we think of compassion, feeling someone's pain.
Right.
But the sources talk about cognitive empathy. This is tactical. It's not about feeling their pain. It's about simulating their mind.
It's being able to predict what they will do next, like a chess player. Right. You don't have to like the other player to understand their strategy. In fact, sometimes liking them gets in the way.
You get too close.
You get too close. You need emotional detachment.
Which brings us to the gray rock method.
This is vital for dealing with toxic personalities, narcissists, workplace bullies. These people feed on reaction.
They want the drama.
They want to provoke you. They want you to get angry or cry or defend yourself because that gives them control. The gray rock method says, become a rock. Be uninteresting.
So if they insult your work,
You don't get mad. You don't get sad. You just say, in a monotone voice, okay, I'll make a note of that. You give them zero emotional surface area to latch onto.
you become aggressively boring.
They want drama, you give them data. Eventually they get bored and move on to a softer target.
Now, this next concept is one of the most useful frameworks in the whole stack. I've been thinking about it all week. The warmth and competence matrix.
It's so good.
It explains why sometimes being really good at your job actually makes people hate you.
It's a sad truth about human psychology. We judge everyone we meet on two axes instantly, unconsciously.
Okay.
Axis 1, warmth. Are you a friend or a foe? Do I like you? Axis 2, competence. Are you useful or useless? Can you do the job?
Okay, so let's map the quadrants. High warmth, low competence.
That's the mascot. Everyone loves them. Oh, that's just Bob. He's great.
Harmless. Fun at the Christmas party.
But nobody respects them. When the layoffs come, Bob is gone because Bob doesn't actually do anything.
Okay. What about low warmth, low competence?
The discard. Why are they even here? They are rude and useless. They get fired immediately. That's the easy one.
Now the tricky one. Low warmth, high competence.
This is the danger zone. This is the threat.
The threat.
You are very capable, so you have power, but you aren't warm, so people don't trust your intent.
They don't know what you're going to do with that power.
Exactly. They think, he's smart, but he's out for himself. This makes people coordinate to take you down. They respect you, but they fear you. And fear leads to preemptive strikes.
So if you're the brilliant engineer who never says good morning and just corrects people's code, you are painting a target on your back.
100%. People will tolerate a lot of incompetence if you are warm. They will not tolerate coldness, no matter how competent you are.
It's depressing.
It is, but it's a rule. So the hack the source provides is, if you are naturally analytical and high competence, you must artificially inflate your warmth signals.
You have to fake it. You have to pretend to be warm.
You have to perform it. You have to do the small talk. You have to ask about the kids. You have to bring donuts, not because you care necessarily, but to signal, I am a friend, not a foe.
So you're just managing perception.
You have to move yourself into the top right quadrant. High warmth, high competence. That is the leader.
People trust you and they respect you. That's the goal.
Right. And if you are naturally super friendly, but perceived as a bit soft, maybe a mascot, you need to sharpen your edges.
How do you do that?
Be a little less available. Use shorter sentences. Demonstrate competence so people know you have teeth.
Fascinating. Let's move to Section 4, tactical mastery. We're talking sales and negotiation. But the source starts with a counterintuitive point. Stop pitching.
This changes everything. Most people think sales or persuasion is about pitching. Look at my great idea. Look at this slide deck.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was.
The problem is, pitching is a low-status behavior. You are the performer seeking applause. You are asking for validation.
So what's the alternative?
Diagnosis.
Yeah.
Think about a doctor. A doctor doesn't pitch you on surgery.
No.
A doctor asks questions. Where does it hurt? How long has it been hurting? What happens if you don't fix it? When you diagnose, you are high status. You are the expert.
So instead of saying, I have a great solution for the software, you ask.
How much time is your team losing to these crashes? What is that costing you in overtime? You force them to articulate the pain.
You make them say it.
It's costing us $1 million. Once they admit the pain, your idea isn't a pitch. It's the medicine. They need it.
That flips the power dynamic completely. You aren't begging, you're saving them.
Exactly. And this connects to the prize frame. People want what they can't have.
The scarcity principle.
Right. If you are desperate for the deal, whether it's a job offer or a budget approval, you repel them. Desperation smells bad. You need to use disqualification.
Like telling them you might not want the deal. Isn't that risky?
Subtly.
Yeah.
You don't say, I don't want it. You say, I'm not sure we're a good fit for this project. We move very fast, and I know you guys have a lot of compliance layers. Are you sure you can handle this timeline?
Oh, that's good. Now they have to prove to you that they're worthy.
No, we can move fast. We promise.
You become the prize.
Now, negotiation. The sources talk about bete, best alternative to a negotiated agreement.
This is negotiation 101, but people forget it in the heat of the moment. The golden rule is, you are only as strong as your willingness to walk away. If you must have the deal, you have zero leverage. None.
Because they can smell that you're trapped. You need to know your walkaway point before you enter the room. If they don't offer $120, I walk. If you don't have a BTNA, you aren't negotiating, you're begging.
And once you're in the room, the power of silence.
This is the hardest one to execute. It feels so unnatural.
Yeah.
You make your ask, I need $150K, and then you shut up.
Dead air. It's so awkward. I'm already uncomfortable.
See how uncomfortable that was? Just 3 seconds. In a negotiation, that silence feels like an eternity. In Western culture specifically, we panic in silence. We want to fill it.
Well, I mean, I could maybe take less.
Exactly. You just negotiated against yourself. If you wait, the other person will often start bidding against themselves just to end the awkwardness. Well, that's a bit high, but maybe we could do 145. You make thousands of dollars just by staring at them and counting to 10 in your head.
And the flinch, what's that?
The flinch is physical. When they name a price or a deadline that's bad, you flinch. A sharp inhale, a wince. You look physically pained.
But you don't say anything.
You don't say, that's an insult. Your body says it. It signals that their offer is outside of reality. It forces them to justify the number immediately. Is that a problem? Now they're on the defensive.
And instead of saying no, which is confrontational, you use how questions. This is from Chris Voss, right? The FBI guy.
Tactical empathy. You don't say, I can't do that with this budget. You say, gently, how am I supposed to deliver high quality with that budget? You force them to solve the problem. They either have to give you more money or they have to admit, okay, yeah, you can't.
Section 5, reading lies and execution. Let's talk about lie detection. We all think we know. Look them in the eye.
Total myth. Absolute garbage. Liars actually hold more eye contact because they are checking to see if you believe them.
They're overcompensating.
They are hyper aware of their face. The source says, forget the face. Watch the feet.
The feet. Seriously.
Seriously. Evolution hasn't trained us to control our feet. If you're talking to someone and their torso is facing you, smiling, nodding, but their feet are pointing toward the door.
They want to leave.
That is a flight response from the limbic system. They want to escape the interaction. Or if they cross their legs and turn their foot away from you, it's a barrier. It signals disengagement or dishonesty.
But you can't just read one signal, right? Some people just have happy feet.
Right. Context is everything. Some people just fidget. You have to baseline them.
How do you do that?
Spend the first 5 minutes on harmless chat weather, sports. Watch their blink rate, their posture, their fidgeting when they are relaxed and telling the truth. That's the baseline.
Okay.
Then you ask the hard question. Did you authorize the transfer? If the behavior spikes away from the baseline, they stop fidgeting and go rigid, or they start blinking rapidly, that deviation is your red flag.
Moving to execution. How to actually get things done. The distinction between default active and default inactive.
Most people are default inactive. They wait for permission. Boss, what should I do? Is it okay if I email the client?
Yeah.
The winners are default active. They manufacture consensus.
And the tool for this is the as discussed email. I love this.
This is a power move. You finish a meeting where everyone was vague and non-committal. Chaos. You go back to your desk and write. As discussed, I will proceed with Plan A on Tuesday unless I hear otherwise.
And you send it to everyone.
Everyone. And if they don't reply...
Silence is consent. You have a paper trail of authorization.
You created clarity out of chaos. If they come back 2 weeks later and say, why did you do that? Hey, you forward the email. I told you I was doing it on Tuesday. Checkmate.
And completed staff work. I love this one. It's about respect for the boss's cognitive load.
Never bring the boss a problem. Boss, the printer is broken. What do I do? Now you are the problem. You are a monkey on their back.
You're just another thing they have to deal with.
Bring the problem, the solution, and the draft decision ready to sign. The printer is broken. I found a repair service for $50 or a new printer for $200. I recommend the repair. Here is the authorization form for the $50.
All they have to do is sign. Or say, buy the new one.
You did the thinking. You made them feel powerful and decisive, but you controlled the outcome.
Okay, now we are getting into the deep water. Section 6. Advanced survival, optics, networking, defense. Let's talk about weaponized incompetence.
This is controversial, but very effective.
Okay.
The source calls it the competence curse. If you are too good at the low-value work, fixing the printer, taking the meeting notes, scheduling the Zoom calls, you will get stuck doing it forever.
Oh, just ask Sarah. She's so good at formatting the spreadsheets.
And Sarah never gets promoted to strategy because she's too busy formatting. She has become the office mom or the office tech support.
So you have to move.
The tactic is to deliberately fail at the sludge work.
Fail on purpose. That feels wrong.
Be bad at it. Do it slowly. Make mistakes. Forget the attachment. If you are bad at the printer, people stop asking you to fix the printer.
It frees up your time.
It frees up your bandwidth for the 20% of work that actually drives revenue and visibility. Be a sniper, not a machine gun. Save your excellence for the things that matter.
Let's talk about signaling. Costly signal.
We judge books by their covers. It's unavoidable. If you dress sloppy, people assume your thinking is sloppy. But the source mentions a specific artifact. The notebook.
The leather notebook.
Think about it. If you sit in a meeting typing on a laptop, what do you look like?
A secretary?
A note taker.
You look like a drone. You might be answering emails. You might be on Slack. You look distracted. But if you are writing in a nice notebook with a pen, you look like you are synthesizing. You look like a judge.
It signals importance. I am recording this.
It's the executive aesthetic. It intimidates people slightly.
Yes.
It commands respect.
And you need a brand, the T-shaped brand.
Don't be a project manager. That's a commodity. There are a million project managers. Be the turnaround guy. Be the one who fixes the projects that are on fire.
You're defining your unique value?
Define your value proposition.
Yeah, networking. The sources talk about structural holes. What does that mean?
Most people network in clusters. Engineers know engineers. Salespeople know salespeople. That's an echo chamber.
The power lies in being a broker. The person who connects two clusters that don't talk.
You become the bridge between engineering and sales.
And the bottleneck. Information has to flow through you. You translate engineer speak to sales speak. That is immense structural power. You become indispensable to both sides.
And stop looking for mentors. Look for sponsors.
This is a crucial distinction. A mentor gives you advice. Hey, you should read this book.
Which is nice.
That's nice, but it doesn't get you a raise. A sponsor gives you power. A sponsor is someone high up who burns their political capital to pull you up.
How do you get a sponsor? You can't just ask, will you sponsor me? That would be weird.
No. You have to be useful. You become a high-utility weapon for them. You make them look good. They pull you up not because they love you, but because they need your utility in their new role.
So it's symbiotic.
It's symbiotic self-interest. I'm going to VP, and I need my best soldier with me.
Section 7. The defensive arts. This is for when things get ugly. Dealing with predators.
First line of defense, the paper trail. But you have to be subtle. You can't look paranoid.
Right.
The minutes tactic. After a meeting with a toxic boss who gives you conflicting or dangerous orders, you send an email to the whole team. Just to recap, per our conversation, you asked me to stop working on the safety protocols and focus on speed.
Ouch.
Yeah.
You're putting it on the record, in public.
You are locking them in. If things blow up later, you have the timestamp. I did exactly what I was told. It protects you against gaslighting.
What about when people steal your credit? The correction injection.
If someone presents your idea in a meeting as their own, your instinct is to scream, "That's mine."
Right, I said that last week. You feel that rage bubble up.
Don't do that. You look petty. You look emotional.
Mm.
Instead, validate them to lower their defenses, then reclaim the territory.
How does that sound?
Say, "I'm so glad you brought up that point for my proposal. I have the raw data here if anyone wants to dig deeper into the model I built."
Smooth. You validate them. Great point. So you look like a team player, but you firmly plant the flag that you built the engine.
It's devastatingly effective. The room knows. Everyone knows what just happened.
And then there's time sovereignty, the glacial pace.
This is for zombie projects. Bad ideas that come down from the top. If you say no to the CEO's pet project, you're insubordinate.
So you have to say yes.
So you say, "Yes, I'd love to do this," but then you bury it in bureaucracy.
Malicious obedience.
"I just need legal to sign off, and IT needs to run a security audit, and we need a vendor assessment." You let the system kill the project.
You're not the killer.
You didn't kill it, the process killed it.
And finally, the Prince tactics.
Yeah.
The really dark stuff. Isolation.
Never fight a unified group. If a clique is attacking you, you cannot fight them all. You have to break the coalition.
Divide and conquer.
Exactly. Offer a side deal to the weakest member.
Wait, I know the group is against this, but if you back me, I can get you that budget you wanted.
Suddenly, the group isn't unified anymore. There's suspicion, mistrust. The whole thing crumbles.
And the bad cop proxy.
If you have to deliver bad news, don't do it yourself. Don't be the face of the pain.
Mm-hmm.
Use a policy or a consultant. Or the new directive from HQ. I'd love to give you that raise, but HR has frozen all bans.
Our hands are tied.
It protects your likability. You stay the good cop. The system is the bad cop.
We've covered a ton of ground. Section 8. Mental fortitude. How do we handle this psychologically? It feels heavy. It's a lot.
It is.
The sources talk about overcoming good student syndrome.
This is the hardest part for high achievers. We were trained in school. Follow the rules, get an A. Work is not school.
Not at all.
Work rewards knowing which rules to break. If you wait for permission, you will wait forever. You have to move from asking for permission to asking for forgiveness.
And imposter syndrome. That feeling that you don't belong.
Reframe it. Use it as radar. If you feel like an imposter, it means you're in a room where you're learning. You are stretching.
That's a great way to look at it.
If you're comfortable, you're stagnating.
And the alter ego.
Do not bring your soul to work. That sounds harsh, but it's protective. Create a professional persona. Work you. When work you gets criticized, it's not an injury to your self-worth. It's just feedback on a character. It allows you to stay cold and rational when the heat turns up.
It's armor.
It's a spacesuit.
Defend.
You need it to survive in that atmosphere.
Wow. Okay, let's wrap this up. We've gone from physics to tactics to survival. What is the final synthesis here?
The realization is this. The world isn't good people versus bad people. It is players versus pieces.
That's it.
You are either moving or you are being moved.
The techniques we discussed, strategic incompetence,
Yeah.
silence, brokerage, these aren't evil. They're just the rules of the game.
If you don't learn them, you are playing blind. By learning them, you take a seat at the table. You stop being a resource and start being an architect.
So here's our challenge to you, the listener.
Yep.
Power is a muscle. It atrophies if you don't use it.
Try one low-stakes tactic today. Just one. Use the silence technique on a barista. Count to 5 before answering a question. Feel the tension. Get comfortable with it.
Or look at your calendar and block out 2 hours for strategy. Put a meeting with yourself on there. Defend your time.
Knowledge without execution is just trivia. Go be a player.
Thanks for diving deep with us. We'll see you next time.